Hey guys, it's Pete Cohen here. Happy, beautiful day. It's Psychology's magazine, and I'm so excited to be here. Over the next 4 weeks, we are going to be looking at the magic of thinking big. So let's let as many people find this broadcast as possible, as it appears on the feed. Thank you so much for being here. Let us know where you are in the world. Where are you in the world? And let us also know if you're watching this live, press the number 1. If you're watching this later on, press 2. Sounds like I'm a call center. We're looking at the magic of thinking and growing and being incredible. And I'm very, very pleased to be here. We will officially start. We'll get stuck in about 2 minutes. Let as many people find this broadcast as possible. I cannot thank you enough. If you'd like to do me a little favor and help Psychology's magazine, then share this broadcast. You'd be amazing. You'd be amazing. You are amazing. Hey, by the way, do you know what the word amazing means before we get stuck in? Do you know what the word amazing means? It comes from Henry VIII, who was a king of England. I know we have people from all over the world right now. In fact, tell us, what parts of the world are you in? Which countries do we have here being represented? I can see there's an incredible, look, there's already 140 of you that have come into this broadcast. So the word amazing comes from Henry VIII. Henry VIII was a big fan of games, and he built these mazes, you know, these mazes that you go in and you kind of get a bit lost and eventually you find your way out of the maze. That's where the word amazing comes from, getting out of the maze, right? That's what it means. And I want to help you get out of the maze because I think that maybe you are a bit stuck. Where in your life are you stuck right now? Are you stuck with your health and your energy? Are you stuck maybe in your relationships with people that are close to you? Are you stuck with your wealth and your work, right? Because if you're stuck, I want to help you. And over the next 4 weeks, I'm really excited to take you on an epic quest, an epic adventure to open your mind to something. Because let me ask you a question, and I really ask that with these sessions, we make them as interactive as possible, all right? So if I ask you a question, I'm really asking for a response. Does this make sense? So I'm asking you to get involved, and I'm asking you to be open to something. Here's the question. What's the only thing that exists in the universe? What's the only thing that exists in the universe? Now, some people might say space, right? That's the only thing out there in the universe is space. Now, I'd say within that space, there exists possibility. I don't know about you, but that's the thing I'm most excited about right now in my life is possibility. Okay? Hang on a second. Excuse me there, just had a slight little interlude there, but we're back. That's the only thing that exists in the universe. It is possibility. How many possibilities are there right now? Now, if we just change cameras for a second, you'll see that I've got a couple of fellas over here, right? Can you see these guys in the corner? Yeah, there's there I am, still on this camera. We have a couple of challenges going on in the world today, right? And some of them happen that we can't do anything about. Some of them we can. But we all have things which basically hold us back, right? And there's a very famous book called The Chimp Paradox by Dr. Stephen Peters. And I have a book also called Shut the Duck Up, which is about the noise that we have in our heads. So we can all have great ideas. How many of you have ever come up with a really, really good idea? I've got a fantastic idea. This is something I want to do. And then all of a sudden you've heard some noise. And the noise could be from some other people who will go, look, don't be stupid. There's no way that's going to happen. But in most cases, that noise actually comes from inside our own head, that where we talk ourselves out of things. So I think the most amazing thing in the universe right now is possibilities. How many of you have got an idea? There's something in the world, or there's something that you want to do, there's something you want to create, there's something you want to become, and the chances of you achieving that are very unlikely because of the communication that we have with ourselves, the stories that we tell ourselves of why we can't do what we want to do. And you know what? Pretty much every adult in the world has this process going on inside them. But there is another part of us that is much wiser than the part of us that wants us to stay where we are. The Romans actually called it the genius. The Greeks called it the daimon. So if you want to think big, because this is what we're going to do for the next 4 weeks, as I ask you to come on a journey with me for 4 weeks, let me coach you. I'm a coach. I've written 19 books. I've spent my life helping people go from where they are to where they want to be, because that's what a coach is, right? The word coach comes from a coach and horses. Someone goes on a coach and horse because they are somewhere and they want to go somewhere. And that's what Psychology's magazine is all about. It's about giving you practical tools, tips, techniques with some of the most incredible people in the field of psychology who have proven success in helping people. So let's just take a look at this. If we just flip the camera. Oh, he's done it again. Hey. There we go. I had problems last week, and now I'm having a few challenges this week. But this is life. This is life. Life is challenging. Let's flip it again. If life was really simple, then life isn't easy. And I know there are things that you want. I know that the greatest invention that we have been given is the gift of creativity. The fact that you can come up with an idea and then you can go to work in making that happen. And you know that you will always have resistance when you decide to do something. And in most cases, that is that resistance inside your head. And I want to help you over the next 4 weeks. We're going to help you deal with the excuse-itis, which is inflammation of the excuse-making gland when we excuse ourselves from moving forwards. 95% of ability is our ability to have stick ability. And these are things we're going to be looking at. So without this wire pulling coming out, the magic of thinking big is really understanding what thinking is. What actually is thinking? Well, thinking is words that you say in your head and thoughts. That's what thinking is. So there are different ideas around why human beings do this. And maybe you have your ideas on this, and you can listen to different philosophers, different areas of psychology, different schools of thought that will tell you that there are different reasons why we think. I couldn't tell you what it is, but all I know is that's what we do. I'm looking at this camera. It's okay. It's okay. The fact of the matter is that once we start to realize, first of all, this is something that we do. Why we do it, I think, is less important to understand than actually knowing that this is something that we do and starting to realize the impact this has on us in terms of, if we go back, knowing what we're thinking, first off, because most people are unaware of what they're thinking. Then they're even less aware of the impact that is having on them. So between now and next week, when we come together looking at the magic of thinking big, I want you to think of, what am I thinking? How is this affecting me? And what is the impact this is having, right? Because when we look at a subject, it's so important to go on a bit of a journey of awareness. And if I ask you, what are the 3 biggest areas in your life that are most important to you? Most people will tell you, especially if they could just wave a wand and give them the results that they're looking for, most people would want to think big and have better results with their health and their energy, their relationships, their wealth, their work. They want to think big and make big things happen in those areas. So what I'm asking you to do is to come on a journey with me where you start to think about, what do I think about my health and my energy? How is that impacting my life? What's the impact that's having on my life? And the same with your relationships, the same with your wealth, and the same in your work. Because if you don't do this, this is what's going to happen. This is my picture of a cow, by the way, a cow ruminating. Do you know what ruminating means? Does anyone know what ruminating means? So ruminating is what cows do when they eat. They put food in their mouth and they chew it and they swallow it, then they throw it up, then they chew it again and they throw it up and they chew it. They keep doing this. Ruminating is what most of us are doing. We are just sitting on the way that we think, how we think, the same impact, and we're just like cows, basically. But we can change. We can change. The question I want to ask you is, what do you want to change? Because we know when it comes to change, that's a big challenge for people. In fact, if everyone does this, as long as you're not driving, cross your arms like this or put your hands together with one thumb on top of the other, notice how that feels, right? That feels fine. Cross them around and go the other way. How's that feel? Feels wrong, doesn't it? For most people, if you go back the other way, it's like that is what is natural to you. But isn't that fascinating that you went first to where you're comfortable without even thinking about it? See, human beings have this battle going on, and we all have it. We all have it. A part of us that wants us to grow versus a part of us that wants to stay where we are. It's truly fascinating. And you'll also see in this post, you'll see a link if you click on the link, it will open up Facebook Messenger and you can get access to a whole load of free content that I've put together. Different pathways, the pathway of health, the pathway of wealth, the pathway of self-control, the pathway of being inspired. And you will open up some pathways and get a whole lot of free content, because what I'm sharing with you is so important. Is a danger, I think, sometimes of just paying lip service to this, because you can get a taste of what is possible without actually following through to really manifest what is possible. And as we start to wrap this up, please understand this. When you look at human beings and anything that a human being has created, whether it's this camera that I'm speaking to you on, or whether it's the other camera over here that I'm speaking to you on, this is something that man created. But he created it twice. First in his mind, and then in reality. And doing, I dropped my magic wand, doing the work is really where the magic is. And understanding that there's a part of us that wants us to stay where we are. And as we wrap this up, this is the one thing I really want to leave you with today. I want to leave you with knowing how your mind works, right? So one of the things that the mind does really well is it plays tricks on you, right? Have you ever been walking down the street and thinking that someone's behind you? Have you ever tried to go to sleep at night and it's the old chimp, once again, is in your mind playing tricks on you? How do you conquer your mind? How do you conquer your mind? Well, first, one way is definitely have either enough pain that is driving you to move away from something, or be inspired about something that is in the future, or find a bit of humor in what you think. And if you can do all three of those, anything you think about, you can bring about. Let me say those three things again. You can be so driven by having so much pain that drives you to move away from where you are, or you can be inspired by something that's in the future that you really want to do, something you have a burning desire to do, and you find a bit of humor in what you think, because most of us have so much self-talk that gets in our way. If we can find a bit of humor in that, we tend to be a bit more liberated. We experience the lightness of our being. So what I want you to do is to speak in a way and hold your body in a way that when you think about something that you want, you stand up. You change. If you want to change your psychology, change your physiology, right? You all know this, right? If you stand up, if you move around, you're definitely in a more powered position than just sitting down. So if you want to think big, be big. Stand up, be bold. And recognize the words that you say and how those words affect how you feel. You know, I could say things like, hey, I love you. Or I could say, I love you. You know, you notice the difference. You know, I got this. I got this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. Let's go. Let's go. Let's grow. Let's grow. The words we use massively affect everything. And our voice, the way we use our voice. Why not get excited? Come on, everyone, let's get excited. Let's pump our fist as we say to ourselves, anything is possible. Everyone who's a part of what we're doing here, just write down in the chat box, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Everyone write it down, I dare you. And everyone see and read what everyone else has just said. And if you speak a different language, because I know we've got people here from all over the world, literally just say anything's possible. Anything is possible. Also say, I got this. Come on, I got this. Let's bring them up on the screen. We are unified right now by people all over the world that believe in possibility. And there's never been a more important time for us to change with what the coronavirus has done and the challenges that many of us face from an economical point of view and from so many other points of view. We need to be the change that the world needs of us. Who said that? Gandhi said that, right? Be the change that you want to see. Martin Luther King, these guys thought big. Martin Luther King said the most important question we should be asking is, what can we do for others? And that's what gets me out of bed every day. What can I do for you? And that's why in the post you can see a link to something that we have for people, so I can give you more, so you can be more. A great life doesn't happen by chance. You're always going to have this force that wants you to move forwards, and you're always going to have this force that wants you to stay where you are. So you stay in familiar territory because that is safe. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to take your life to a better place? Are you ready to show yourself what you're capable of? Are you ready to win that battle inside your own mind? Because if you are, please use everything that Psychologies magazine puts out there for you. Don't be a librarian, someone who just knows lots of stuff. Let's become doers. So feel free to reach out to me if I can help you. If you've got any questions, the best way to do that is actually click on the link in this post and you'll see all that's available. You can ask me a question there if you want. And please help Psychologies magazine in its goal and its mission to change the world by sharing this post. If you take any value from it, just share it. More people will know about Psychologies magazine and more people will be empowered. And finally, ladies and gentlemen, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is potential power. It's what we do with it. It's action. The magic of thinking and growing big, what have we discussed here? We have looked at, well, we kind of looked at what thinking and thoughts are, but it's something that we do. You'll never stop yourself from doing it. But I'm asking you to think about how you're feeling about these different areas in your life with your health, your relationships, your wealth, your work, and thinking, what am I thinking about these things? How are they impacting my life? And what do I actually want to do about it? So I'd have stopped going over and over and over and over what I've been doing and actually start to get good at change. How do I do that? Well, start using your body in a better way. Start using your words in a better way and start moving your life in a different direction. We know a great life, it doesn't happen by chance. It happens by design. And finally, guys, your future is unwritten and you most definitely have the power to change. I want to thank you for watching this today. I really genuinely appreciate it. And I look forward to over the next 4 weeks working with you on the magic of thinking big. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you really soon. All the best. Bye-bye.